and welcome to our January 2025 online event. This is Venetia Ramsey from Scrapworx, and we are going to create layout number 5 using About a Girl collection. For this layout, I've thought that perhaps we would work with, because we've been working with a lighter background, so that maybe we would go a little bit darker. So instead of black or brown, I've chosen a nice dark grey. And we are going to work with some pattern papers from the booklet. I thought it would be nice to take, because the booklet is printed slightly smaller. The print is a bit, it has been reduced a bit. And I thought it would be nice to put something together using the booklet. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut out of this pattern. You need to cut 2 pieces that measure 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters. Out of this pattern, the dot, you will also need 2 that measure 8 by 8. Out of this one, you're going to need 4 patterns that measure 8 by 8. Out of this one, we also need 4 that measure 8 by 8. We're going to use, for this one, we're going to use the back and the front. We're going to use 2 from the front and 2 from the back. And this one has all 2 from the front and 2 from the back. And then this one, you will also need 4 that measure 8 by 8 centimeters. And again, 2 from this side. And try and cut it so that we can use these 2 from this side over here. And I will give you an idea now of what we're going to do with that. So I cut those out at 8 by 8, 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters. And then I took a corner rounder and rounded the corners of each of the patterns that I cut out. Let's bring it down a little bit so we can work. Right, so there's your 2 of the dots. We have 2 dotted ones. We have 2 like this. So what I did is I went around the edges with some sandpaper. I sanded the edges, and then I went around with black soot distress oxide ink. So here we have these 2 from that pattern. There's 2 of those. And then the same pattern, we are going to use side B. And like I said, try and get I think this is the piece that runs across like that. Okay. Then the camera one, this is the side B is the camera. You've got 2 of those. Side A is the roses. And then for this one, there's 2 of those and 2 of these. And then I thought that we would just add them to the page. Let me just find where I did take a picture so that I wouldn't forget the order. See if I can just find that. Alright, so I thought that perhaps we would start with this one over here. And then one like that. And one of the roses. So basically all I'm going to do is create a grid using the patterns. Okay, then I've got the camera going across. After the camera I have one of these. Alright, and then at the end one of these. Then the next one down, we'll start with that one. Then we have the dotty. And I think we have another camera. And then I've left this one blank because I know that my photograph's going to go here, so we're just going to end up covering that one up. And I'm leaving this one blank as well. We'll get back to that one. And we can put this one here. This one over here. I think this one goes there. This is upside down, so let's turn it the right way around. Like that and that there. Put the dot over there and like that. Right, so the idea is just to lay them out in a way that, and they don't, they're not laying, the same one isn't laying next to each other, but we're going to lay them out something like that. We can easily move this up a little bit. We'll space it out nicely so that the grid works. So that is my idea, to create a background pattern to look something like that. Right, then you're going to need your photographs. I've chosen to work with one photograph that measures 10 centimeters by 15 centimeters. And then you're going to need 5 photographs that measure 5 centimeters by 7 centimeters, but you're only going to mat 3 of them. So out of your light card stock, you're going to need one piece to measure 10.5 centimeters by 15.5 centimeters. And you're going to need 3 pieces that measures 5.5 centimeters by 7.5 centimeters. Then out of your dark, I've used black. You need one that measures 11 centimeters by 16 centimeters for that photo mat. That's going to go over there. And then you're going to need another 3 that measures 6 centimeters by 8 centimeters. Right, and these are going to lay something like that. And we're going to fill up the spots now with some more patterns. Right, then you're going to dig through your leftover patterns. I'm going to give you an overview and explain to you where they are. So from your from the back of this one, I've chosen to use one of the little tags. That's that one over there. Okay. I also fussy cut out this over here. You see she's there. I just fussy cut that out. From this one, you need to cut her out. We need this one, and I fussy cut this out of there. So if you can see that, there's that. Okay, from here, I cut out these 3, this one, and this one, but I'm going to use the back of them. I've already inked the back of them. I want to use the back of them like that. I also cut out this little ticket, and I have also cut out the circle for the bear. So there's the bear and the ticket. All right. Then from this one, you need this girly over here. She's over there, and she is going to, I wanted to use the ticket, but I didn't want what was on the ticket, so I'm going to replace the image on the ticket with that little girl. Then from this page, I need another one of these. All right, I'm going to use the back of it. Let me see which one this is. So the stripy one. Shouldn't have cut that one out yet. Okay, so the one with the stripe, you're going to cut that out, and the word adorable, we need that. And then from here, I need 2 of the frames. I chose to work with this one and this one, so you can just press out. We just need the frames. I have added a bit of black cardstock to mine, but that's only because I need a placeholder for where my photo is going to be. You do not have to first cut that one out at all. Then I'm going to use the title off the grey board called Clips and Twirls, and we've just painted that in black. Right, so I'm going to move that out the way, and we're going to start to put the page together. Right, so I want to have this one go over here like that, and I'm going to have this one go over there like that. All right. And then I'm going to add to that, I want this to go over here, and I've done it in a way that will form part of the grid, and if need be, I might need to trim more of the little girl off, but we'll see once we've got everything in place. But I kind of wanted to fill that gap like that. So this will we'll get it to run in line nicely like that. Okay, and then we need to add some more of the embellishments. All right, so my plan is to put her over here like that with the title kind of on the sort of over here, Clips and Twirls. All right, and then what I've done is I've pulled her dress a little bit this way and a little bit up like this, so that it kind of looks like her dress is twirling around. So that's going to go over there like that. That's kind of where I was going with it, and I needed to, so these little goodies here that we, I didn't use this side because it felt like it was getting lost on the page. So instead I turned it over. There's 3 little goodies I forgot to tell you to cut out. I turned them over like that. And on the same page of these, where those are, there's these little sayings that I also cut out. And I thought I would just make my own sayings on the tabs and just add my own little something. Like that and like that. So then the tabs now still have a sentiment at the top. Right, and then to mimic the girly that's here, I thought that we could pop her in over here like that. Okay, and then remember what I said with the ticket. I wanted to add the little ticket in over here, or the stamp, but I didn't want another saying there, and I didn't really want to use the mushrooms, and I thought we could do with another little girly. So I figured we would just add that in like that, and she picks up nicely with the image in here. Right, and then it looks a bit odd with this little face sticking out over here. So that's where I thought we could add the little bear just to hide that. I mean, once I've got it in place and stuff, it'll look a little bit better than seeing just one little eye from the girly sticking out. And then felt that this little area also needed to be built up a little bit. So thought maybe we would just add the little girlies in behind there just to bring it out a bit. And then add in this little tab over there as well, something like that. All right, and it felt to me like everything was happening here. We just needed something to draw your eye up as well as down, and figured that that might be the best place to add another little sentiment like that. Maybe we can bring it over a little bit, but like that. Right, so there we go. I think that that gives you a good idea of where we're going with this layout. I'm going to pop on some music, put glue on the back of everything that needs all the little embellishments, and then I'll be back to stick the background with you and the photographs, and I will see you in a bit. Okay, we are going to start to attach the little square patterns that we cut out. We're going to start working on the right hand side. I'm going to attach my first lot 3 centimeters from the top of the page. Once I've got that row in place, it should make it a little bit easier. So let's start with the 3 centimeters from the top of the page to get that first one in. I'm going to put my ruler and my pattern paper in place, and there's my 3, just so that I'm going to get it in nice and straight. I'm going to work with the blue Tombow glue because that way I can shift things as need be. Alright, so I want to get this first row straight. I'm going to attach this about 2 millimeters away from the center of the page and 3 centimeters from the top of the page. Even bring it back so you can see that a tiny little gap here, 2 millimeters max. All right, so that gives me, so if I bring the next one in, I'm going to attach that one. Just want to stay with the 3. Again, a small little gap between the two patterns. You don't want to make like a 1/2 centimeter gap or 1 centimeter gap. There'll be too much of the gray showing through. So that's why I think it's easier if you just put your ruler where it needs to line up at the top, and then you can shift it to where you think it should be, where that gap between should be. So I think it's about a 2 mm gap, and because I have sanded and inked, my edges are not crisp, they're like a bit ruffled. So if I don't get it perfectly straight, it's not going to be the end of the world. All that inking and sanding will give the illusion that it's straight. Okay, so I've got this nice and the ruler is in place. I'm going to bump that up against the top. And my aim is to get this gap to be more or less the same as that one. Remember, if you're unsure, always lift up and hold it in front of you, and you can get a better idea. That looks more or less correct. Line that up there and there. Pop my ruler on the 3 centimeter mark. And there we go. That looks like it's pretty straight. Okay, so I'm going to do the next row. Now remember, I'm leaving this one. I'm not going to put anything there because I know my photograph's going to cover that. So I want to have it a few millimeters away from there. So I'll do it the other way maybe. So if I bring this next one in, it's going to go more or less over there, but I definitely want to be straight. This is where I need my T-square ruler, but I can't find it. So that looks like it'll be pretty straight. So I'm going to put this one over there. Again, I want to get the gap that's here more or less the same as the gap all the way around. Flush against there. There we go. And I know that one's going to go there. I know that this one's going to go here. And this one is going to go over there. So I don't want to move my ruler just yet. And I'm going to attach the next one. So this is my way of doing it. If you have a way that's a little bit easier, if you're brave, you want to just go ahead and stick, then you can do that. I like that. So I want to get this next one in. So I'm going to get it in about over there. It looks about right, and this one needs to go like that. Okay. Looks like it's going to be, I've got it pretty straight. There we go. So the trick is to get it straight this way and that way. So far so good. There we go. So you can see I've just kind of tacked everything in place. I haven't really burnished too much, so that if I need to move things around, I can. Alright, so that looks like I've got it reasonably straight with the same amount of gaps everywhere. Looks to me like I could move this one up just a little bit. I'm going to double check that by putting my ruler, yeah, up a little bit better, and there we go. Remember, we're going to have stuff on as well, so if it's not perfectly spaced and perfectly straight, the embellishments will hide and the photographs will hide it. But that looks reasonably good. Let's start with the next one. All right. So I'm going to just lay them out. There you go. So I know more or less. Okay, so I'm going to start with these 2 rows to begin with. So we'll start the same way, 3 centimeters from the top of the page. I'm going to pop my ruler in. Just going to line that up like that. Put the ruler down. I'm using my mat at that line at the top and this one at the bottom here to get me lined up straight. So that gets me nice and straight, and I know that one there needs to go there, that one's going to go there, and that one's going to go there. I'll come back to those in a minute. Again, I haven't burnished those in place. I'm just kind of tacking them down where I think they should go. I just want to double check with the page on the right that my spacing is correct, that we have them straight, and then we can go ahead and do the rest. Okay, that looks like it'll work. And we can maybe move these over just a little bit. There we go. Move this one over just a little bit. And this one. There we go. So I'm quickly going to stick the rest of them, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, so there we go. That is everything stuck in place, kind of more or less the right distances apart. Like I did say that I would need to trim off this little overhang here if it didn't fit in 100%. There we go. So we'll just do that. And then that gives us that. I have inked around the edges of the dark grey cardstock with black soot distress oxide as well. Right, so next up then is just to add your photographs. So I'm going to have this one over here, like that. And then I've just got to decide how far down or up I'm going to have the photos. So we can make that decision now that we have everything stuck down. I think I want it all to run in a line at the top to line up. I think that is going to look good, and we can have that hanging down a little bit. There we go. I think these two need to swap around. The pink on the green and the green on the pink. I think that looks like it's going to work quite nicely. Right, so we just need a measurement as to where the photographs are going to go. So the main photo we'll attach, let's make it, let's do 7. We'll attach the main photograph 7 centimeters from the bottom of the page. Let's get that one done. We're going to attach this one. Let me find my 7 centimeter mark. Let's do that. So I'm lining it up. Besides the fact that I'm putting it 7 centimeters down the bottom, I'm lining my photo up with that pattern and that pattern so that the gap that goes down here is the same. Right. This one with the frame, let's do 10.5 centimeters from the bottom of the page. Okay, so you would just attach a photograph behind you, a photograph that measures 5.5 by 7.5. I put the black there just, like I said, as a placeholder for where my photograph will go. Right, so let's attach that 10.5 centimeters from the bottom of the page. Making sure that the gap here between the photo mat, that photo mat and this one is about 1 to 2 mil. Small little gap, not a big gap. And that photo will attach it's about 13 centimeters from the bottom of the page. But because I want this to stay in line, I'm just going to use this as my guide, and that should get you more or less in the right spot. I've left a little gap here with no glue so that I can tuck that little tab in underneath there. There we go. All right. I want to get this, I'm going to line this page up like that so that I can get this photo in the right spot. Again, I'm going to line it up so that it lines up with this and this, so that the gap between is the same, leaving a bit of left space at the wrong end. I'm going to just wipe that off, bring it down, so leaving a little bit of space for my photograph. And here comes the rain again. Much needed rain. Okay, so if it gets very loud, I might have to just carry on. I'll put on some music and just keep going. Just need to add the embellishments and then we're basically done. Okay, so that looks, oops, would help if you add a bit of pressure. There you go. Alright, I'm just going to turn that over and give it a good burnish. Okay, so I'm going to pop on some music, add my embellishments, add my title, and then I will be back with the end result. I am also going to take a gel pen and go around the edges of this pattern paper. Okay, I will see you in a bit. And there we go, that is everything stuck in place. I plan to add a photo here and here. I have stitched around the edges of the entire background. I think it just contains everything so it doesn't feel like things are just falling off the page. And then I added some lines around the stamp that I created. Off camera I added a black line around here just to make this stand out a little bit more. But for most part, very happy with the way this has turned out. This cluster I think balances very well with this one over here. And then this little bit here then I think just carries the weight. So that gives me my little visual triangle. I think this is a really awesome way to showcase the patterns as well as your photographs. I hope that you've enjoyed the process and look forward to seeing you in another workshop. Thank you for watching.